Hello and welcome to the Astral Tourist. Today I'm going to be talking about some of my latest astral projections. The ones I remember have been pretty short. Um, I last tried this afternoon, but I didn't get out. I was almost all the way relaxed. I saw like a complete field of purple. My hand was all the way asleep and like I had some kind of a muscle twitch. So I thought that's a really good sign. I'm almost there. I'm almost there, but I didn't make it out. So that was a bust, but that's okay. I will try again tonight. A few nights ago, I was trying to get out just as I was falling asleep. And so a lot of times I get hypnagogia, which are sounds or voices, rather than an all-out vibrational stage with the earthquake like shaking that some people get. I get that too on occasion, but anyway, a couple nights ago, I just was hearing some sounds. In particular, a man said, "Hey there." So I was like, "Hey there, back." Just said it back to myself. And I made the intention to float. It didn't work. I tried rolling out a little bit, but that didn't work. I don't like to go too hard because sometimes I actually roll over. And that's how physically real it can feel in the astral body. So that's something to keep in mind. It can feel so real and very physical, sometimes more so because you have more senses kicking in. So that didn't work. And I thought, well, maybe I'll give up for the night. And I started to relax again. I thought, well, I'll try once more because this has happened to me before. I'll just think I'm having an insomnia and I haven't fallen asleep yet. But when really it's just my mind that's awake. But my body has fallen asleep. So I heard hey there, but like it was from a distance this time. And so I tried float command again. I got nothing. I tried fly, nothing. And then I started to rock back and forth again just to see if that would work. And as I was rocking to my left, I shot out across the bed and bounced up against the window I like to exit out of. So I was like, wow, okay, that worked. Things were really dark. I could tell that I didn't have a lot of energy for that particular astral projection, but I decided to go outside anyway and have a look around. And I did something that you really shouldn't do, which is I turned around to look back at the bed because I was curious if I woke up the person I sleep with by rolling on through him like that. And usually nothing wakes him up. He doesn't notice it. But when I looked back, I didn't see him. I didn't see me. That happens a lot too. I just don't see us there. Sometimes I just see one of us. It varies a lot. So this time nothing, but the room was really clean and bright. So I was happy about that. I'm like, okay, get to go with the energy work. So that was fun. And I slipped out the window sideways. I didn't feel it at all this time. Sometimes I can feel it as I pass through, and other times I don't. So I was floating around outside. It was really dark. I kept having to say, lights on, clarity now. Lights on, clarity now. And sometimes I could see the ground beneath me or like the shadows of the trees. And again, I knew I didn't have a ton of energy this time. But I kept at it. I kept wandering around and I thought, well, I'll just look and see if anybody else is around. And it was like so quiet and empty. Usually there are people around where I can like sense that there are in the distance or way down the road. But this time I only was able to tune into one person. He had black wavy hair, kind of skinny, very pale white, and like a t-shirt and jeans. And I told him, I'm the astral tourist. Wake up and send me a message. I'm always trying to get people to send me a message just, for confirmation. And he said he couldn't do that, but he didn't say why. So I don't know if he's passed on or just doesn't have a computer. He didn't clarify, so I didn't push it. I was like, okay, well, I just want to look around anyway. And you and I seem to be the only ones out here. And he asked to hold my hand because he couldn't see very well either. He thought if we hold hands, maybe we can kind of combine our energies a little bit and each get a boost out of it. So we held hands and floated around for a while in the dark. And that was pretty much that one. Not super exciting, but it was still kind of fun to get out. And I actually was able to talk to somebody a little bit. So the next one's a little more interesting. I know I had been astral projecting a lot that night, but I don't remember most of them. This is a different night, but not too long ago. Again, 2 or 3 nights ago. And this man arrives in a limousine, just kind of out in the country. I was just wandering around out in the night in the country. I like to do that sometimes. Go out in the forest and wander around, enjoy the trees and the quiet. So this man, he just arrives in front of me in this long, glistening black limousine. He gets out. This is a large black man, maybe 6.5 feet tall, completely shaved head, and a nice fine suit. And I recognized him immediately. This is somebody from a group I work with sometimes in the astral. I've nicknamed them the Vegas group. And it consists of a couple of men and a couple of women and me when they try to call on me to come help. So what they do is they just try to clean up like negative elements in the astral or try to like shift things before they happen. I don't always get all the details, but sometimes they need help with tracking somebody or trying to know what they're going to do next. And I can control my thoughts really well. So sometimes they call on me to help with that. So that night, nothing happened except that he arrived and he didn't even say anything. He didn't have to. He just gave me that look like, we're going to be calling on you soon kind of look. So that was interesting. And then, so I was like ready the next night. So the next night I was out wandering around in the woods again and he showed up. I got in the car and we kind of teleported to an area I think that was overseas. And the woman that is usually there was there. She's tall, dark hair, pale skin, usually dressed in like a navy kind of formal looking business dress suit or top and skirt. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. She just gave me a smile. They telepathed an image to me about this man who looked really tall, thick set, lots of muscles. And they were trying to tell me that he's dealing in a lot of drugs and possibly violence. And they just wanted me to get to know him a little bit and see what I could pick up on his thoughts and where he might be headed, what he might be up to. They just had a really bad negative vibe from him. So they're kind of just want some reconnaissance just to see what he's up to and who he is and what he might be doing. And they indicated that he was upstairs. So at this point, I'm in a tall building that looks like it has a lot of offices and doors. But the woman was indicating that he's way upstairs, like, I don't know, maybe 8 floors above us. So I just decided to like scatter my thoughts, like maybe I'd been out partying hard all night or something. And so I drifted up there, just up through the floors. I didn't try to find stairs or an elevator. I had a good amount of energy, so I just drifted up through. I found the door where he was open. He was sitting at a desk. I just wandered in there and I said, somebody told me you might be able to help me out. I'm feeling lost and confused. So it took him a few minutes to try to get his thoughts organized because he was really focusing on whatever the paperwork was at the desk. And then he said, well, I'll be traveling north soon, but I need my bag first. And he didn't want to go out to get his bag that he'd left in one of the middle floors in the building because he knew that people were looking for him. But he told me that if I went to go get his bag for him, that he would help me by traveling me north with him, like by teleport, I guess, or phasing, shifting, whatever you want to call it. So that's all I could really glean from him. I'm not somebody who's going to press into somebody's mind all Inception or something style. It was just a conversation. That's all they wanted me to have. And that was good enough for me too. So I decided to go look for that bag. And I found it a couple of floors beneath the floor that he was on. And when I looked in there, it was full of rain boots. I was like, where in the north is he going where it's that wet? You know, they were blue and white. And there were more than one pair. There were like 8 huge pairs of these rain boots. I'm thinking he's thinking polar region, right? North Pole area, maybe northern Russia. I don't know. Siberia. I can only guess, but he needed some boots, I guess, for that. Also, I wasn't sure if they represented something else, possibly. So I decided to put a tracking tagger in there. And what I mean by that is I just used a little bit of my energy and I put it in the bag, like a little ball of energy. I was curious to see how it manifested. So I peeked in the bag after I did that, and it looked like it was in the form of one of my favorite cozy blankets. So I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, the woman found me holding the bag full of boots and my cozy blanket. So I explained to her that I put the tracker in there and that he'd said something about going north. And then I woke up. So I call them the Vegas group. I don't know how bad of a man this really is or isn't. And, I've helped them out a few times, but I think it was 3 weeks ago or something, they told me they were going to Hawaii and probably wouldn't be calling on me as much anymore. So they would have come back from their astral projecting in Hawaii specifically to track this man. So anyway, thanks for listening. I will share more soon. Happy astral travels.